Good morning, Europe!
It is an honor for Shield Upper Secondary School to welcome our Education Without Frontiers annual meeting of headmasters, teachers and students.
First, our headmaster, Mika Rantala, would like to welcome you all to the Heart and Soul Conference.
Dear European friends, it's truly my great pleasure to welcome you, headmasters, teachers, our guest speakers, Mr. Timo Koivisto, the Mayor of Jyväskylä, Ms. Henna Virkkunen, European Parliament representative, and Mr. Ville Ojanen, our specialist, and of course our students from 16 different countries and schools from Europe to Finland and to Jyväskylä. Our 30 years history of our conference is about to continue. Welcome. Heart and Soul, as the name of our conference is, tells us to keep our hearts and souls to concentrate no matter what, to keep up connections and cooperation, friendship and communication, even we can't meet each other in person. We will use new ways to organize international cooperation, to innovate and activate our schools to learn from other nationalities and make better future for our students and teachers. As Finnish education is world famous, and as the name of our conference says, Heart and Soul, I want to remind all of us that the heart and soul of Finnish education was established here in Jyväskylä, where over 160 years ago the first Finnish school was founded in 1858. We are proud to welcome you to the heart and soul of Finnish education. Welcome and thank you. Let's enjoy and celebrate our cooperation, friendship and happiness. It's all about heart and soul. Welcome.
Thank you, Mika Rantala. Thank you. Next, it is a great pleasure to welcome the Mayor of Jyväskylä, Timo Koivisto.
Dear participants of this Heart and Soul Conference, on behalf of the City of Jyväskylä, it's my pleasure to wish you all most warmly welcome to this opening ceremony of this Heart and Soul Conference and bring the city's greetings to this conference. It's an honor for the city also that one of our best schools, Shield Upper Secondary School, is hosting this international conference. It's very important for the city of Jyväskylä that our students are preparing themselves for international cooperations as early as possible, and it's very important in the upper secondary level to have international cooperation. We all know why this conference is taking place online, why this is a virtual conference. It's not an ideal way to cooperate in international level either, but it's the way we have to do it for a little while. But hopefully this will be the last time that this conference takes place virtually, and hopefully we will see you here in Jyväskylä. To have this conference here in Jyväskylä live also would be a great event for the city of Jyväskylä also. But this will of course be a great event also. We won't let this disturb and we will try and make this as rewarding conference as possible via online also. If you would allow me to say a few words about the city of Jyväskylä, and don't worry, I'll be brief, but I have to brag the city of Jyväskylä a little bit. I'm the mayor of the city and that's my duty. Jyväskylä is a city of 144,000 inhabitants, and even though in many countries that you come from and you represent, the city of this size wouldn't even be called a city. In Finland, we are the 7th biggest city. And what is more important, we are one of the fastest growing cities in Finland. And why we are growing so fast, there are two main reasons. One is that we are truly a city of education. As I mentioned, Jyväskylä has 144,000 inhabitants. Over 40,000 of our inhabitants are some sort of students. We have a University of Jyväskylä with approximately 15,000 students. We have a University of Applied Sciences here in Jyväskylä with approximately 8,000 students, and we have other excellent educational institutions such as Sild Upper Secondary School, and that's why we have over 40,000 students here in Jyväskylä. Of them, over 2,000 are international students. And if you sometimes consider studying abroad, Jyväskylä would be a great destination to do that, and we hope to see you here as a student also. And why is it so important that Jyväskylä is a city of education? It's one of the main reasons that the city is growing, and it's very important to have young, innovative people coming from all over Finland and all over world to Jyväskylä. They are very excellent workers, employees to our companies. They can build their own companies also, and they are very important for every city to have young students in them. It makes cities dynamic, and that's the reason why Jyväskylä is one of the most youthful cities in Finland. Our average age is lower than in any other city in Finland, so that's very important. That's one of the main reasons why Jyväskylä is growing. The second main reason is that we have been able to produce jobs for people. That's the one main reason why people are moving to a city, is to get a job, and it would be important to get even more jobs to help keep those young, skilled workers here who graduate from our university, for example. So that's something that we are working very, very heavily, and that's something that international relationships plays a very significant part in. There can't be any successful city around the world without international relationships, and that's why it's very important for you also to become international. That's why it's so important to have these kind of conferences like this Heart and Soul conference. So, dear participants of this conference, once again, most warmly welcome to this conference. I'm sure that you will have a rewarding conference, and as I mentioned, internationality, the theme of this conference, and the reason why this network, Heart and Soul Network, takes place is even more important all the time. When I was at your age, at the late 1980s, Finland wasn't even a part of EU. The possibilities for example, to go to study abroad, it wasn't very usual that people went studying abroad. Now it's almost everybody who studies in university considers at least the possibility to go study abroad, and that's where EU has become very important for all the young people in Finland. In late 1980s, the international relationships were mostly in Finland with our Scandinavian sister cities and with our Soviet Union sister cities. So the situation is much better right now. You are almost born to be international. Globality and internationality is much more natural part of your everyday life than it was, for example, when I was young many years ago. So these kind of conferences are very important for you to express your internationalism and get to know each other and get to know different cultures. And it would be, of course, better to have these kind of conferences online, and hopefully, and I'm sure that it will be the case next year when this conference takes place, it's not online, it's live. It's not in Jyväskylä, as I've understood, but hopefully sometime it will be held here in Jyväskylä. I wish you a rewarding conference, and I wish you a rewarding spring and summer and an end of your studies. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Timo Koivisto. The following greeting comes from Henna Virkkunen, a member of the European Parliament.
Dear listeners, greetings from the European Parliament. I always think that the European cooperation is important, but it is especially important in the challenging times such as the corona pandemic. It is great that European schools are working together, and your Europe project, Education Without Frontiers, is a good example of that. The corona pandemic has affected everyone's lives and in all areas of society. When viral chaos calms down, many of its effects will go away and might be forgotten. However, the pandemic also has far-reaching consequences. I believe that one of the consequences of the coronavirus is the historical digital leap we are now living in. I also believe that the accelerating digital transition is largely improving people's quality of life and opening the new opportunities. At the same time, of course, it has also some negative side effects. Digital change is visible, for example, in public services, workplaces, consumer behavior, and education. The conditions for change vary from country to country, but in the countries such as Finland, where the digital infrastructure has already been in good condition, the change has taken place particularly quickly. Without advanced technology, the paralysis of societies and economic losses caused by the coronavirus would have been much greater. The pandemic has also changed the daily lives of schools in ways we have never seen before. In spring 2020, students and teachers started their first distance school period. There have been many distance periods after that. When the distance school started, all teachers had to take over new digital tools. This was a good thing in the sense that before digital tools, we used to be by only a fraction of teachers. Now more and more teachers have learned to use them. Because new ways of teaching had to be introduced in a hurry, it also meant a heavy burden on teachers. In order for digitalization and well-being in schools to remain on a sustainable path, the whole learning process needs to be reformulated. How are students contacted? How is learning monitored and feedback provided? How do you exchange ideas and learn from others as a group? In addition to just transferring knowledge, schools also have other important tasks, such as teaching youngsters how to become responsible citizens. How is this done if teachers and students cannot meet face-to-face? After the corona crisis, schools will need to consider what practices to keep and what not. Perhaps in the future, for example, it will be easier to connect with a sick student at home. Various digital learning materials will also be used more and more. Virtual student exchanges may also continue to give new opportunities for internationalization and in addition to physical exchanges. One important thing about the digitalization in schools is well-being. We know that the distance learning is best done by students for whom school is otherwise easier. On the other hand, distance learning places in particular burden on those students for whom learning is difficult. Experiences have been very different. From some, motivation has decreased and stress has increased, while others have found distance learning very easy. Well-being has to be taken care and planned in a completely different way if people do not see each other face to face. Dear listeners, all Europeans need digital skills to study, work, communicate, access online public services, and find trustworthy information. However, we know that many Europeans currently do not have even basic digital skills. 4 out of 10 adults in Europe lack of basic digital skills. Now the European Commission has set as a target that 70% of adults should have basic digital skills by 2025. The goal is also to reduce the level of 13 to 14 years olds who underperform in computing and digital literacy from the current share of 30% to 15% by 2030. In addition, it is important to address the low representation of women in tech-related fields. Currently, only 1 in 6 ICT specialists are women, and only 1 in 3 graduates of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics are women. Denmark, Sweden, Finland, and the Netherlands are among the European and global leaders in digitalization. They are followed by Luxembourg, Ireland, UK, Belgium, and Estonia, according to European Digital DESI Index. However, some other European countries still have a long way to go, and the EU as a whole needs to improve and to be competitive on the global stage. Dear listeners, lastly, I would like to thank you for your attention and for the opportunity to greet you. I wish you a good and rewarding seminar. Hopefully, today you will get new ideas and also well-being for the days to come. Summer is just around the corner, and the increasing vaccination coverage may allow a return to almost normal life soon. Let's hope for that. Thank you.
Ode to Joy was played by our music student Kerttu Seppänen.
She played the hymn on kantele, which is a traditional Finnish string instrument. The next greeting comes from Luxembourg.
We would like to welcome Mr. Sean Theis, the head of the steering committee of the Euro project.
Mrs. Verkunen, Mr. Koivisto, Mr. Rantala, honorable guests, dear friends, dear students. Thank you, Mr. Rantala, for your kind words of welcome, and thank you, Mrs. Verkunen and Mr. Koivisto, for your presence at this opening ceremony. It shows the importance you give to our projects, to our ideas, your commitment to the European youth, and honors, of course, our 30 years old Euro project network, Education Without Frontiers. Meanwhile, as Mrs. Verkunen already said, it is so easy and we are so used to assist to online conferences. A mouse click on join, and here we are, all together in this virtual hall, celebrating the opening of our annual network conference, Heart and Soul Conference. A click on leave, and back we are to our families and beloved, or maybe unfortunately to our lessons and in our offices. No traveling fees, no borders to cross, no traveling days to join our Finnish friends up there in the north. It's not so easy to get there, as Mrs. Vutulainen from the Finnish National Agency confirmed us yesterday during our meeting. But, my dear friends, every second of the journey would have been worth to get to Gradia. If only we could be able to meet again face to face, to shake hands, to hug, and off the records, to have a beer in company of good old friends from all around Europe. We all extremely miss this personal contact, which is the strength of our network. But our network, nevertheless, will survive this pandemic. Thanks to people like you, my dear Finnish friends, who are able to switch to a plan B and perfectly organize an online conference like the one we are in at the moment. We still are far away in front of our screens, but now during this opening session, we already feel the positive energy you have been putting in this conference and the warmth of your welcome. During these difficult times, this does so much good to our heart and souls. Thank you for that, my friends. When you started planning this conference and you decided to put in its focus the well-being of students, teachers, and heads, you couldn't be aware of how important and omnipresent this topic is nowadays. Homeschooling and social distancing seem to be the cure to everything, and unfortunately often end up in social isolation. We see the numbers in Luxembourg, and I guess they are the same in your countries. More and more students suffer from the actual situation, are struggling to maintain the mental balance, and more students show signs of psychological problems. What can we do to help in this situation? In my personal, humble opinion, I'm not the expert. The small piece of puzzle we could contribute is trying to connect people, to reconnect people. And isn't this, by chance, the main mission of our Euro Project network? Considering this, our network is far away from running out of steam. No, it is even more important than it has ever been before. The conference of today is part of this effort. It will not be able to heal all our diseases. It would be so easy. But I'm sure that it will make us get a better understanding of the situation, thanks to the presentation of Mr. Ojanen from the Academy of Brain. He is an expert. I'm sure that we will find in the following workshops some interesting hints and inspiring ideas to use the tools, the online tools, for more than just teaching in future. I'm sure that today's conference will emphasize the feeling of European community. And last but not least, I'm sure that we will have a lot of fun during the workshops, making us, for a short moment, forget all the rest. Enjoy this break from your daily routines. Thank you for your attention. Thank you.
Next, Satu Syyrakki, a Finnish member of the teacher committee, will introduce the program for today.
Hello, everybody. Give me the microphone. Hello, friends. It's time to go to more practical matters now. So on behalf of the organizing team, I will tell you a few words about the day's further program. And we will start by the lecture, common lecture, by Ville Ojanen. And Ville Ojanen is a psychologist and brain researcher. And that lecture is, of course, open for everybody. Already yesterday we talked about that there is no limit for you to listen to that lecture. Same applies to workshops. We have been talking about it yesterday already. But so after lecture there will be a break, and during that break you, the students, you have the possibility to meet other European students, meaning that we will share you to breakout rooms and you can discuss during that 1 hour break together and get to know each other a bit. And after that there will be the workshops, and you have the links to the workshops, and we learned from yesterday that please check that you are using the right link so you will be in the right workshop. And it will be nice day for you all, and you get to know students, each other even more. Then, of course, we will have closing ceremony after with more official program again. But enjoy the day, and as our mayor already said, it's really important for you to be together and get the opportunity to talk to each other. And it's for today. So enjoy the day. Have a very nice day.
Thank you, Satu Syyrakki. The following song, Romance, which is composed by Max Reger, is performed by Senni Lehisalo and Pihla Laita.
Next, the program continues with the lecture Pandemic Fatigue. Please find the link for the lecture in the program.
With all our heart and soul, we hope that you enjoy the conference day.